Hello, Motorheads. Today, Farley and I are working on some Dana 60 assembly. Okay, Motorheads, so I decided the next thing I'm going to do is get the tie rod welded up for this. So you can see I've got these square aluminum tubes on here, clamped onto each knuckle. Seemed like a good time to do this because the knuckles are bare. It's pretty easy to clamp those on and then set it up for zero toe. I've also got the tie rod ends that came with the kit, and each tie rod end has a threaded bung and a lock nut on it. So now I've determined my length of my tubing I need. Also in the kit was some tubing that you cut to length for your setup and your arms. That's an 1.5 inch quarter wall DOM. So guess I'm going to cut that, get that welded up, and can't really go on to the drag link yet because really want to have that installed in the Jeep before I measure and weld up the drag link. But we'll go on to that step next. Okay, back here at the bandsaw, quick cut of this, and then I'll have to chamfer it and clean the paint back for a ways. All right, Motorheads, I'm set up to TIG weld this tie rod. Usually I don't spend a lot of time setting up shots. It just kind of happens, but I've got some time into this one, so let me show you what's going on. All right, so for starters, we got the Everlast 255 EXT over here. Yeah, I could wire feed it. I could stick weld it. Hell, you could gas weld this for all I care. But I like TIG welding because it doesn't throw a lot of sparks and spatter around in my shop. It's a pretty clean process. You do have to be a little meticulous on your prep work, but overall TIG welding's good. So over here on the table, well, first we've got the tie rod, and as you can see, I chamfered that down pretty good. And then the kit, one of these doesn't have any little notches, the other one does. So got to make sure you have both the right and the left. That's what that's about. So that's all prepped, ground cleaned up. My usual speed glass helmet. I still got the jumbo cup on here from when I welded on the spring perches, I believe. Just haven't changed it out with an 1/8 inch tungsten. Ought to be fine. Here we've got a piece of welding glass on a little mini tripod with a cheap camera. I'm going to try to get some arc shots on this and see if I can get them framed in better than the last ones I did. And then over there, we've got the time-lapse camera looking down on the whole thing. And, of course, I need a little frosty refreshment because it's Friday night. So, there we are. I guess I'll start cameras in motion, and we'll go ahead and weld this thing up. Well, we're back. And since you just watched the time lapse and not the arc shots, you could probably guess that the arc shots didn't work. But let's show you how this tie rod came out quick. So I welded 2 passes around this tie rod, and typical TIG passes. I mean, it's mild steel, so it's gray. It doesn't have the pretty blue colors like you'd see on stainless. But overall, went good. I ran her real hot, burned her in deep, and I have complete confidence in these. So there we go. Bring you back after things cool off. All right, Motorheads, I'm back the next day, and the tie rod is cooled off, and I got it installed. So show you what I got going there. Look who wants to come say hello. Okay, you probably saw my setup for setting the toe yesterday. I clamped it a little better. I actually locked down the tie rod ends and got it set up for 0 toe. Tightened everything up, and I also did a little bit of a clearance check here. And it's hitting the clamp. Got to take the clamp off, but at full steer, get rid of that clamp quick. So at full steer, we're still clear of the stud and everything, so that's good. That'll be the same on the other side. I already checked it. So there's my lovely TIG weld that I did on that tie rod. Things are good. So next step, I'm gonna get after the spindle bearings, and well, actually I'll do the U-joints, then I'll do the spindle bearings, and we'll just continue assembling from there. All right, here we are at the long side shaft. Short side went great. Not sure which one I'll show you, but I'm not going to bother showing you both. Takes a little bit of time to do this. Too much time to show both sides. So this is I want to mention, this is a permanently lube U-joint. There's no grease zerks or anything. And don't add any grease to these. If you do, you're probably going to hydraulically lock it, because these have unbelievably good seals. These Spicer SPL 55-3X U-joints. So, once again, put in the trunnion, stick it pretty far through, and get the cap started so that you know the needles are started. And then we're gonna just run her in. I think I mentioned this last time, but I always run that first cap on a set of trunnions a little bit far. Make sure I get the clip in. And there she's seated. All right, second cap. So I stick this out, so I'm about halfway into the needles on both caps when I put them in. That way no needles can fall. So I'm going to start with just the puller, but this U-joint does stick out a little proud, so I'll have to put this cup around it when I get to the other end in order to get it far enough to seat the clip. There, I'm on it to the point where I need the little cap. Once again, that's just to give it a place for the U-joint to go, since it sticks out a little proud. So I'm being stubborn here about this cap. I could be done by now if I just switched to the hammer, just for that last little bit. And the hammer is how we're going to finish it. It's silly to struggle when everything's wobbling around on you. And wandering around. All right, there we go. Looking good. Fully clipped into the groove. And she's free. All right, long side shaft. So this is so far this is going really good on the table here. Usually working in the vise, it's a little bit more of a struggle than this, but for some reason, working on the table and using this C-clamp device is making my life good today. Wonderful. One cap left. It's about halfway. This thing just wants to roll. Like the clip's going to go in. If I can get access. There we go. Okay, that one I'm going to give it a tap. That's the first one out of a whole bunch that I don't 100% think is seated. Maybe we'll get that clamp off. All right, she's good. She's seated. Life is good. U-joints went great. All right, we're gonna cut the video there. The assembly's still going on this Dana 60, but Farley and I just want to thank you for watching, and please leave a comment, like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. This channel is growing really slow, and if you like this kind of technical automotive content, well, hopefully it's only going to get better in the future. So thanks for watching.